Well, we're at the home improvement store, and I just picked up some stuff so that I can install 10-2 wire into my barn, or maybe it's 10-3, I can't remember, but I got some wire so that I can hook up my welder. So we'll get that home, get her together, go from there. Well, we got another big project. We're going to run conduit from the box right here behind me to the barn, and this one is going to be for a wire for the welder. So I already got a breaker for it. So one of the things I'm going to do here is I'm going to make this as a connection to the box, and this is threaded, as you can see from this picture. And this this coupler here is also threaded. One's male threads and one's female threads. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to measure this here with a, this is not a caliper or anything like that, but it really is handy because this is an antique, and I don't know how old it is. You can get something like this even now that are made of solid brass. This one has brass and wood. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to measure the bottom of this. It's about 1 1/16 inches, a little bit shy of 1 1/16 inches. But the top of it is about 1 1/32 inches. So I know that it's got a 1/32 of an inch taper, probably in 1 inch. 1/32 per inch taper. About 3/4 of an inch, so not quite 1 inch. But anyways, this coupler will only fit part way because of the taper. They're made that way so that they will fit very, very tightly together with a taper. It's called National Pipe Thread, NPT, and so it's threaded with National Pipe Thread type threads. And so the total inches is of this threaded portion is 3/4 of an inch, and I got about 7/16. So I want a half-inch spacer. And this end of it is not threaded, but it fits over these threads like that. So I'm going to make a spacer about half an inch. First thing I'm going to do is put it in my vise. It's very difficult to hold something that's made of plastic, so I'll thread this other coupling in there to support it, and put it in the vise. Measure ½ inch. I'm going to make marks at 3 different places. Then I'm going to saw it. If you have a Sawzall, you can saw it really quick. If you don't have a Sawzall, you can use a hacksaw, it'll work. But I want to leave the marks on there. Yeah, it doesn't leave enough threads that I'm satisfied with. So I'm going to file a little bit more. You take your file, put it flat on your bench. Oh. I'll turn it a little bit so I get it filed a little bit more evenly. And then plastic's going to plug up your file, so take a wire brush, get all the plastic out of the grooves. Try to file off the high spots. There, now that's a little bit better than it was. There. Then I'm going to take this threaded portion, cut off about ½ an inch. Switch it over here to our vise. Measure ½ inch. I guess I'll make it 3/8. Follow the same procedure, make 3 marks. Do the same thing. I don't know if this is going to even work. We'll try it. There it is. I may file it a little bit. Come over here to the file again. File off the high spots. That should be good enough. So now I've got 3 rings all together, and the threaded portions thread together, and then I'm going to put these in the box. Where you're doing this kind of work, got to make sure your components are clean. Take something clean, clean them out a little. These are pretty clean already because they're brand new. And then take some of your glue, put it on there. Make sure you get good coverage on it. I put glue on both surfaces. But you can do whatever you want to. And then just put them together and hold them for a little bit. I usually hold them together for about a minute. Should be good enough. Also, another thing is twist them on. It helps the glue to get into the surfaces a little bit better, because your surfaces may look smooth, but in reality they have a rough surface if you look at them under a microscope. And what this glue does is it's a sort of a cold set solder. It solders the 2 plastic pieces together. Even though it's cold, it's not using heat of any kind. They usually work pretty good, and you can see this. I held it together maybe for a minute, I'm not sure. But you can see this surface that, and the joint looks pretty good. You want some glue to squeeze out, I do anyway. And then this is going to set like this. I'm going to connect a pipe between the fitting that I was working on earlier and this. Well, I don't know if you ever heard of the expression measure twice, cut once, but I measured twice. I might have even done it 3 times, but I'm ready to cut it. I'm cutting it on a miter saw, You can use a hacksaw. One thing you want to do is make sure that you don't have any burrs on the end of your pipe, because if you do, you're going to have problems. You aren't going to be able to fit it together. And I have to go turn on electricity. One thing I like about a miter saw, very, very few burrs are left on it. One thing you should always do is dry fit it, see if it's going to work. I already took some sandpaper, took all the burrs off, both ends, took my gloves, rubbed them on there, make sure there's no dust on there. We'll dry fit it up. I cut it a little bit short. I'm not going to worry about it too much. It'll work. Okay, well, I've got the pipe all put together, and took my level, put it up there, it's okay, and then I marked it on the barn here where I want to drill my holes. So it's the way I want it. And you can see that the whole thing is okay. I may put an extension over there on that side because I wanted to set down in the ground a little bit more right up here. Right there.